What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. I've been waiting to say this for a very long time. I didn't think I would be able to say it in my lifetime, but we have won at Stamford Bridge. We have beaten the 28-year hoodoo, or however long it was, 27 games I think it is.
Unbelievable.
What a performance that was yesterday. Oh my days, I'm still
fantastic.
struggling to get over it.
We're still buzzing from that result.
Oh my days. Anyway, let's get into the ratings.
All right, so we'll start with Hugo Lloris.
Yeah.
We gave Hugo a 5. Unfortunately, he was probably our worst player yesterday, which, given how our players played, is saying a bit, but he was at fault for that first goal big time, wasn't he?
Big time, yeah. He kind of came for the ball, completely missed it, and kind of distracted Sanchez as well from headering away the ball. But apart from that, he was nothing really much.
Apart from that, he was pretty good actually. I thought he had a few saves from Willian. He had a save from Moses. Second half, he didn't have much to do. But I thought he had a fairly decent game. But I think that goal could have cost us if we didn't have show that character to come back. So I think, and it's becoming a bit of a pattern now. These mistakes
in the big games,
which is something get to Man City. He's made a few mistakes
last time
as
against
well.
Chelsea as well.
Chelsea in the game at Wembley. So it's something that has to be noted, unfortunately, for Hugo. But obviously, I still back him. I still he's an absolutely fantastic keeper, but he's got to cut out these mistakes.
100%. So let's move on to Kieran Trippier. We gave Trips a 7. I thought he was pretty good. It wasn't like an amazing performance, but it was kind of like just above good kind of thing.
I thought first half he got caught out a couple of times.
Yeah, he did get caught out a couple of times, but I thought he grew into the game. He was getting up that right-hand side like we know he can. He was putting in balls into the box, but yeah, it was kind of a good performance, but not amazing performance.
He had that fantastic cross where he looked into Dele Alli, who headed it miles wide. It was a really great. Yeah, in the first half. It was a great cross, that one. But yeah, I think 7's pretty fair result for Trippier. Solid game, nothing too amazing.
Yeah.
So we move on to Ben Davis. We also gave him a 7. I thought the same as Trippier. Cut in the first half, got caught out a couple of times from Willian on the counter attack. Chelsea looked quite impressive on the counter, but I thought he grew, as the same with Trippier, he grew into the game. He was involved in that first goal, I thought, when he won the ball from Moses, won that header, leading to Eriksen having a shot. And I thought he was causing them problems down the left-hand side, and he was whipping a few balls in, and I thought it was a pretty solid display.
And I thought he did quite well because they were trying to target him down that side, weren't they? So he held his own, and it was a good performance.
Maybe for the first goal, you could argue he could have stopped the cross. It was on his side.
Yeah, potentially. But there were so many people that fought for that goal.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But Davis, he's really come into his own this season, hasn't
100%.
he? Every big game now, we seem to be pointing him out. He's becoming one of the finest left backs in the league, and it's another display that proves that.
And you wouldn't even have Rose instead of him.
Personally, I think Davis has earned the right to start over Rose, for sure.
Definitely. We move on to Jan Vertonghen, another majestic display. We gave him an 8. Even could have been a 9, I thought, because he was insane, snuffing out Morata, locking down Hazard. I thought he was absolutely insane yesterday.
He's stepped up big time, hasn't he, this season, especially since Toby's gotten injured. He was absolutely, again, sensational display. We seem to be saying that every week with Jan Vertonghen. He's just so good. He's so good on the ball. He's so good at picking out those passes, and he reads the game so well. We're just so lucky to have him, and hopefully we get that contract locked down in the summer.
That's the main thing.
That's the main thing, yeah, because we need him desperately, maybe even more than Toby, you could argue.
Well, like I've said a number of times, he's been our better defender. He's been our best defender over the past 2 years, and I think that's fact.
I think that is fact. I agree with you. And again, another great display. He barely gave the Morata anything. I know he scored, but he barely had anything all game.
100%. Apart from the goal, obviously.
Yeah, I'm saying. Move on to Davinson Sanchez. We gave him an 8. Another extremely impressive performance from the 21-year-old. I thought he was, again, absolutely on point. He was absolutely sensational. He was snuffing out all the attacks. The amount of one-on-one situations with Hazard and Willian, he was, being able to keep up with, being able to snuff them out, being able to block them off, and giving enough time for the defence to kind of get back. I thought he was sensational again. His positioning is second to none.
Amazing.
And, he's really showing that maybe even if Toby does leave the season, there's life after Toby.
I think he's been improving all season. Poch has really got that trust in him. and it's showing in his performances. He's literally getting better and better every week. He's big, he's strong, he's really young, he's fast. He's got a bit of air of Ledley about him as well.
Gives us that pace in the back. You know, when we're struggling, maybe some teams are trying to counter-attack us. He really gives us that pace going backwards to really snuff out those attacks.
But again, fantastic. Yesterday he was just sensational. I thought that potentially his best performance in a Spurs shirt.
Probably. I know he might have, you could argue, got distracted from Lloris for the first goal, which, whether you argue it's his fault or not, remains to be seen. But I thought, by and large, absolutely sensational. For a 21-year-old to come in from the Dutch league as he has this season, it's just been absolutely incredible.
Sensational.
And it shows the scouting that, Pochettino's done. The only player we spent over 30 million on is this guy, Davinson Sanchez, and we've shown you why. In this game, absolutely sensational performance from him.
We move on to Moussa Dembele. We gave him an 8. I thought another great performance from him, controlling that midfield. The Chelsea midfield didn't really have a sniff, did they?
No, Kante and Fabregas barely got a kick, really. It's better, well, I would say more in the second half than the first half. But he was getting in their faces. I've never seen Kante as quiet as he was. I thought he was really snuffed out, outmuscled, and Dembele controlled that midfield.
I just love the way Dembele plays, but those comments in midweek while he was in the Belgium squad going to worry me.
Yeah, he was saying he's going to wait till after the World Cup to decide what to do with his contract. Obviously, he's only got a year left in the summer, or maybe 2 years left.
Yeah, I think it runs out in 2019.
Yeah, so a year left in the summer. So obviously we need to keep him. We need to keep hold of him. But he's 30 years old now. Who knows when a big offer from China comes in? He's said previously in interviews that footballers have a very short career and they've got to make the most of it. And maybe he would be tempted by something like that, but we have to try our best. We have to really push the boat out to try and keep this guy because he's so vital to our midfield.
Definitely.
It's going to take a lot of money to replace him, that's for sure.
Well, I don't think he can be replaced. The guy's a freak.
Yeah, his strength and on the ball
no
ability.
one brings to the table what he can bring.
Yeah.
100%.
I think at what he does, he's probably the best in Europe.
I agree.
Okay, so to his midfield partner, Eric Dyer. We gave Eric Dyer an 8 as well. An absolutely fantastic performance. Really, there was debate going on. We were having debate before the game whether Dyer or Wanyama should start, and I was backing Wanyama, but Dyer really, really showed up yesterday.
That assist, though.
What a ball! What a ball
assist.
that was. That's one of the balls of the season, you have
100%.
to say. And for Dele to take it down was absolutely sensational. But the pick out from Eric Dyer, we've been seeing a few of those this season. He's really improved his passing game.
I agree, yeah.
And I think that was a testament to that assist was one of the assists of the season. Absolutely sensational from Eric Dyer. And if he can bring more of that to his game, which he has been, he can really become one of the best defensive mids in Europe.
I've been one to kind of slate Eric Dyer because I don't think he's had the best of seasons this year. But I was the first one to realise what an amazing performance he put in yesterday, because that partnership of him and Dembele made the Chelsea midfield just look non-existent.
Completely.
He was breaking down each and every Chelsea attack or Chelsea pre-attack kind of thing. And he was also starting our attacks as well, and I just can't get away from that assist.
That assist was just but his passing in general was most of the time on point, and he was just having a fantastic game, and it's great to see. And obviously, we all know what the tactical flexibility Dyer gives us, and it's just such a great option to have him in our midfield.
Yeah,
so absolutely fantastic.
100%. All right, so we'll move on to Eric Lamela. Lamela, we gave an 8. I thought he was actually really good yesterday. Lamela, he was breaking down those, pressing high up the pitch. He was making those nice tricks and flicks that he likes to do, those touches, those kind of like finesse touches and passes.
Yeah, he was being creative when he was cutting in from the right-hand side. He was
he was kind of finding gaps in their defence. And most importantly, stamped on Fabregas yet again.
That boosted his score up into an 8.
Exactly.
I thought Pochettino was very clever moving him over to centre forward, or kind of a false 9 in the second half, moving Son over to the right. It really worked. I thought actually Lamela was holding up the ball really well. The amount of times Hugo was actually playing it to his chest, and he was able to get it down and find a man. Really impressive, Lamela. He did a real good job for the team. And even for the third goal, he was open there if someone wanted to square it to him, which apparently he didn't.
You saw him get quite angry after
that. But I thought since he's come back, he's really come into his own. I think
he's getting better and better.
I think this is the best we've seen Lamela since he's been at Spurs.
Potentially
these past few months. I honestly believe that.
Potentially, he was. You might be forgetting that he was pretty good before he got injured.
I know, he was very good, but I think I don't think we've seen this level of performance yet from Lamela. I think he stepped it up for sure.
I agree with you, but one thing about his performances is that, like, kind of in the first half or the beginning of the first half, he was losing the ball quite a bit, but he grew into the game.
Yeah, Bartolomei tries things
Yeah.
occasionally. Maybe he'll lose the ball a bit more than other players, but I think he's another fine performance from Lamela. And again, he's come into the starting lineup because of injuries and hasn't looked out of place whatsoever. It just shows the depth of our squad.
The amount of times he wins the ball back, though, is just
Sensation.
insane.
Yeah, it's brilliant. He's so good at that. He's defence from the front absolutely fantastically.
And the thing is that a lot of people that don't watch Lamela week in week out from other clubs will just say he's rubbish just because of the whole
he doesn't
thing
get
around
3
him.
goals and assists every
You know what I
game.
mean? But I wouldn't sell him for anyone at the moment. Well, not for anyone, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%. We need to, again, another player. He's really, I think Pochettino really trusts him
as well, no?
Yeah, and I think also 2019. Pochettino really trusts him, and I think he's a player that he's suffered a lot this season. He suffered a lot in the past year, but I think it's really paying off now. We didn't rush him back. You can see he's hit the gym. He's bulked up even more than he had, and I think it's really paying dividends at the moment. You can see that.
100%.
Next up is Christian Eriksen.
The main man.
The main man, exactly. We gave him a 9. Man of the match performance, or Sky Sports gave man of the match. Absolutely sensational. This is Eriksen is at very, very best. And I've said it all the time. He has to shoot from long range more because he's so deadly from that kind of range. He's got an unbelievable shot, and he showed that again in first half stoppage time with that unbelievable strike to equalise at Stamford Bridge. And I thought just throughout the game, he was absolutely sensational, just creating things. That pass to Son for the third goal was already opening them up. And he was a nuisance all game, and he really changed the game when he went into centre, when we made a 4-3-3 kind of thing. That's when it changed.
And he's carried on his good form against Chelsea in these London derbies.
Yeah.
What was it, 6 assists and 2 goals now?
Yeah, in his past 7 games.
In his past 7 games, which is absolutely amazing.
Past 6 games.
6 games.
Past 6 games.
Which is actually amazing. And also, a lot of people say about Eriksen that he's not a big game player and he goes missing in the big games.
Bollocks.
That is absolute crap, because look, he scored against United, he scored against Real Madrid, he scored against Chelsea. Who else? He scored Juventus, more big games this season as well.
Yeah, and a lot of other big games he really turns up. Again, I remember against Liverpool at home, he was running the show. Yeah. And other big games, Arsenal, creating chances all the time. So this guy really knows how to show up in the big games. He's not afraid to strut his stuff away a big team, and he showed it again today. He's got a phenomenal record against Chelsea, and he was a massive part of us breaking the hoodoo.
100%. Eriksen.
I just love watching him play. He's such a lovely player to watch. He's so silky. He's 2-footed. He can shoot the ball from anywhere. He can pick a pass out from anywhere as well. We're just so lucky to have him.
I'm
really
in complete awe of Eriksen at the moment. He is just playing some sublime stuff, and every year you're thinking, like, second half of the season he really comes into his own and starts playing like some crazy football. So last year, the back end of last season, I was like, can this guy get any better? I don't think so. But he's proving me wrong every year.
100%. And, I'm just hoping he doesn't score in too many big games, because maybe Barcelona or Madrid might be after him.
Well, to be honest, he should be on their radar already.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's better player than Coutinho, personally.
I agree. And we said that when Coutinho was on the verge of joining Barca.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know why Barca aren't looking at Eriksen, but thank God they're not. That's all I'm saying.
So we move on to Dele Alli. We gave him a 9. A lot has been said about Dele Alli this season by fans from all clubs in the league, and just English fans. He's not good enough to play for England. He's not having a good season. He scored 2 goals against Chelsea. A near to man of the match performance. Eriksen got it, but Dele was literally about just below. Yeah, exactly. A sensational performance, not only the goals, but he was doing so much for the team. He was attacking so well, getting on the end of things. Should have got a goal in the first half of that header as well. Could have got his hat-trick. But his first goal was just insane, with that ball over the top from Dyer and how he took it down and finished.
Berbatov, literally. Just a touch and finish it so quickly as well, on the bounce, just before the keeper coming out. One of the goals of the season, I think. Even obviously Eriksen's in the first half, I thought was just as good in terms of footballing quality. That ball from Dyer and that touch, that run as well. It was just a sensational goal from Dele Alli, and that's what he's all about. And also that third goal, his second goal, I mean.
That touch.
That touch to get it from that composure in that situation, to drag it from his right foot onto his left and finish it, I thought was just nearly as impressive as his second goal. All 3 goals really from Spurs yesterday were fantastic, and Dele Alli was just insane how good he was yesterday, and also it was his perseverance that got the chance of the first goal as well. Him chasing down Moses, him winning the ball back and playing the ball to Davis, who got it to Eriksen. Absolutely fantastic from Dele Alli. Would love to see more performances like this from him.
And also the third goal, a lot to the untrained eye that looks like a scrappy goal.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see that if you look carefully, that subtle Dele Alli touch just before he hits it in the goal, amazing.
Without that touch, it doesn't go in. It gets blocked
100%.
or it doesn't get a clean strike on it. But that
slight touch with the right foot to pass it onto his left foot.
And how many players in that position would just like take a wild swing at it or just try and blindly go for it in that position because you're so close to goal? But he had the presence of mind and the composure to just take that little touch, that extra millisecond to, get that perfect shot. Absolutely fantastic. And he really did shut a few people up yesterday.
10 Premier League goals this season.
I think it's 8 now. Is it 8? I think it's 8.
I thought I saw on Sky Sports it was 10.
I think it's 8 goals and 12 assists, I believe.
Wow, 12 assists.
Yeah. And people say, it's funny because I heard an argument last season like, Ali only gets goals this season. Last season when he got 18 Premier League goals, he does nothing when he scores. He only scores if he does not score, he does nothing. Well, this season, he scored less, but his chance creation has doubled. He's actually creating a lot more chances, and you can see with his assists, he's on like 12 assists now. So maybe he's given up a bit of goal scoring to help people for the team be more creative. And I don't see a problem with that. I don't think he's had a poor season whatsoever.
These people who say Dele Alli has had a bad season, they basically just haven't watched him and just looking at like his goals return.
I'm not going to say he hasn't had bad games. He has had bad games.
Of course he's had bad games, but he hasn't had a bad season. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
Nowhere near a bad season, especially for a 21-year-old as well. I think he's been fantastic, and he's only going to get better.
Yep.
So last but not least is Heung-min Son. We gave him a 7. Well, it was a bit of a quiet day for Son. He started the game up top as a replacement for Harry Kane. He kind of moved over to the right-hand side in the second half, which I think really improved his performance. Pochettino was a great little tactical tweak from Pochettino to do that. He had a lot more joy on that right-hand side. He was getting in behind, as showed for the third goal, and he nearly scored as well. I think at 1-1, he forced Caballero into a world-class save, I thought.
It was actually a really good shot. Yeah. That curling left foot from the edge of the area, just kind of like a FIFA finesse shot kind of thing. I thought
it was actually what a fantastic save from Caballero. Got to give him credit for that. But I think Son kind of struggled in the first half. I thought Chelsea snuffed him out pretty well. They did well. He wasn't getting in behind. He wasn't getting a run on any of the defenders. And I thought they shackled him really well in that first half. And something needed to change. And I think the change for Lamela for Son in position-wise, really, really worked.
100%. Poch did so well yesterday with his changes and his tactical changes, game management and everything.
It gave us more width, really, on that right-hand side. We didn't have that much in the first half. And I thought Lamela gave us a bit more bulk up there, which Son wasn't really providing. And it really, really improved our performance.
That's the whole great thing about this team is when a team targets Son, you've got Eriksen that frees up and you've got Lamela that frees up. And it's just such a great thing to have. Our squad is a monstrous squad at the moment.
Yeah, and people say we lack depth.
We don't lack depth.
You tell us that after
look at our bench yesterday and look at Chelsea's bench yesterday.
And also the players that weren't even in our squad yesterday, and you can't even compare. Last season there was a whole big thing in the semi-final when everyone was saying we lacked depth when Chelsea got to bring on Hazard and Costa, which won them the game. But you look at it this season, the table was completely turned. I think our squad depth is really, really good.
Long may it continue.
100%.
We move on to Pochettino. We gave him a big fat 10 out of 10 for our first win at Stamford Bridge in 28 years since 1990. I was about 6 months or something when we won that game. This guy wasn't even thought of. Just wow. What can I say about game management? Insane. The selection crazy, and just everything was just perfect.
I thought it was a real tactical masterclass from Pochettino yesterday. I think he saw yesterday. Obviously, we started the game. We might have played maybe into Chelsea's hands a bit. We dominated the ball, but they were counter-attacking really well.
Yeah, and it just seemed like Spurs Chelsea yet again, the same thing.
Exactly, but he changed things up. And I think the most important thing is even when Eriksen equalised, he still realised that we weren't playing well. He didn't let that goal let him think that we're still 1-1. We're going to keep the things the same. He changed things up, and as we've said a lot of times about this Pochettino team. It doesn't matter what game we're in, doesn't matter what result we need, we always go for the win. And that's one of the positive things about this team. That's one of the positive aspects that you're going to get when you're always going to go for the win. We're not going to settle for a draw in these kind of games. We're going to go and try and get 3 points, and sometimes you might just get them.
That goal in the stroke of half time was so vital, wasn't it?
It was very vital in terms of the game. I think it really gave us a boost. But I'm just saying, Pochettino, it didn't let Pochettino think that we're playing well. We can keep things the same way. He changed things up, and you can't argue with that. And he didn't rush Harry Kane back. He trusted in his players in the starting 11. He trusted in Harry Kane being on the bench in terms of not rushing it back in the starting 11.
He was good when he came on as well.
And he also, he played very well.
He looked sharp.
And I think the whole Toby Alderweireld situation he's handling very well, in my opinion. I know a lot of fans are angry. They're saying he should be coming straight back in the team and he's treating him badly. But how can you drop Sanchez in this type of form? You just can't.
One very good thing was the Pochettino comments about Davinson Sanchez and Toby Alderweireld in the pre-match press conferences. It showed that it gave a lot of confidence to Sanchez during this game.
Yeah,
he was, like we said already in the video, that he was just absolutely immense, and I think those confidence boosters is part of it.
100%. Sanchez is an absolute star, and Pochettino, we have him to thank for that. And how our team has just come on leaps and bounds. Any kind of question marks we have over us, we keep answering the critics, we keep coming back, and that's all down to Pochettino. And now, if we can just get the FA Cup win, that'll be the last thing that everyone will be saying about probably. Well, until the next thing.
And also, what I thought yesterday is that Conte just didn't have answers for Pochettino. He didn't do anything till the 80th minute, did he?
No. Well, some people are rumours that he was sending a message to the board.
Yeah, but if you're a manager of Chelsea, you don't send a message to the board in a derby like this. Well, it means so much to the fans.
Well, some people say Conte's a dead man walking.
Yeah, well, I think he's been a dead man walking for a while.
So I don't know. So I think you got a point there, but I think Pochettino, he deserves all the praise yesterday for what happened on the pitch and what's been happening off the pitch. And he's created this team spirit around the team. And I'm just so happy that we have a manager like Pochettino managing our team.
And I love it how the club always come first. If you're a player, you don't agree with the wage structure, you don't want to be a part of the club anymore. It doesn't matter where you are in the team, you can go. We'll find players. Pochettino's the manager, and he will coach anyone to be in that team and to be as good as everyone else.
He won't take anything less than 100% commitment.
Exactly,
that's it.
And that's what we want.
If you're not 100% committed, get out of here. 100%, and that's what I love about Pochettino. And winning for the first time in 20 years, it might not sound like a big achievement, but it's so massive for us Spurs fans. And winning at Stamford Bridge, it's just can't put it into words how happy it makes us Spurs fans feel. And
to actually be there, that away end was just carnage yesterday.
Carnage. And the way he's just got us playing, I'm so proud to watch us play, and I'm so proud that the players we have and how we conduct ourselves, absolutely fantastic.
And I love how it's coincided with the Arsenal downturn as well. So
let's hope a reign of terror can start from now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was our player ratings. A glorious day. I'm going to go watch the highlights again right now.
Let us know in the comments who your man of the match was. Like, subscribe, and comment below. And as always,
come on, you Spurs!